Well, it's Uncommon Fossil today, presenting an upgraded Mewtwo EX starter deck. I'm really pleased with this upgrade. Of the decks I've upgraded so far, I did upgrade Roaring Moon, which was okay to start with. It got better, but it's still not great. And I upgraded the Charizard EX starter deck, and it's very good, the upgraded deck, but the starter deck also is very good. So I felt like this upgrade, I think, brings a lot of value. The Mewtwo EX starter deck wasn't great. It just didn't function well. I think with a few changes, this deck works a lot better. So very excited about this deck, and I do enjoy the way this deck is functioning. But let's dive into the list now, right? Look at the video on the starter deck. I'm going to hit just really quickly on some of these things. Mewtwo EX, Photokinesis, 10 plus 30 damage more for each Psychic Energy attached to all your Pokemon, so you want to flood the board with Psychic Energy. They made the logical pairing of Xatu Engine with Clairvoyant Sense. You attach a basic Psychic Energy from your hand to one of your bench Pokemon, draw 2 cards, so it's a nice engine. Draw 2 cards is good. Accelerates Energy, great synergy with the Mewtwo EX. I cut from it the Arceus EX, the Arceus V and V-Star, and the Enormous V. I just didn't feel that they brought a ton of value. I've kept Manaphy in the deck because you really do need it if the deck is going to be competitive, viable against a variety of decks. You got to protect those Xatus. Without that, the game just doesn't go well. We can't. Jirachi maybe goes in the deck for additional protection, but I can't fit it with bench space. I don't want that. So what I've added in, though, and does make the deck better, in my opinion, 1 copy of Mew EX. It's a pivot, and we're only free retreat, and that's good because we can only accelerate energy to the bench, and if we need to get those 2 energies on our Mewtwo EX to attack with, having a pivot's really good. Restart ability is good as well because Xatu's nice, but you got to have energies in hand, and sometimes you just don't get pieces. So Mew EX's restart ability draw, so you have 3 cards in hand it's very nice, and then it has an attack that's useful too, depending on the matchup. But for 3 energies, and we will get the energies onto it with the Xatus. Then you choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks and you use it. So just finding, just be aware of that. What the best situation for this. The biggest negative to Mew EX is it's only 180 HP. 2 prizes at 180 HP is not great, but it still makes the deck work a lot better. And then added 2 copies of Mimikyu. I just think that this is a must include in a deck like this. Most Psychic decks with Psychic Energy should play this. Safeguard ability, you prevent all damage to this Pokemon from attacks by opponent's EX and V Pokemon. And then it places 7 damage counters with Ghost Eye. Now, you get knocked out by Mew EX because it copies your attack of placing 7 damage counters and you get 1 shot. So just keep that in mind. But it causes trouble with a lot of opponents. It slows them down, and a lot of times you do need an extra turn or 2. Even it doesn't win you the game usually, but it can slow your opponents down. And sometimes you want to hide the Mimikyu if you think it's going to win the game and you get some play. Sometimes you want to force your opponent to play around the Mimikyu, or kind of set up some suboptimal things so that it just buys you time to do some big damage with your Mewtwo EX. So I like this in the deck a lot. So that's it for Pokemon. So drop Arceus V, V-Star, Enormous V, added Mew EX, and Mimikyu. Energies, still just basic Psychic, but it had 11 before, up to 12. Now added 1 because, look, Xatu, you've got to have energy in hand to make it work. So more energies, it just means you're going to hit it more often. So I think just better there. Okay, let's jump into the trainers. Not going to go through all the trainers, just going to go through the changes here. In terms of numbers of cards, I've added a 4th Buddy-Buddy Poffin. It just had 3, but getting set up is just so important. That's where the deck struggles and fails and falls short, is it doesn't set up well. So you gotta, 1 extra Buddy-Buddy Poffin increases the odds of setting up early game. And likewise, I've included a 4th copy of Nest Ball. I had 3 before, just getting those basics in play. And plus now, and that's the only way to get like the Mew EX into play, or and also the Mewtwo EXs, right? So Nest Ball, just really good in the deck too. And Rescue Board, I like the tool, but I reduced it down to 1 copy. You just need 1 attached, and most of the time it's going to stick around. And if not, you have retreat cost of 1, so you can pay the retreat cost of 1. You don't love doing that because you do less damage, but Deck space is an issue, so just down to one rescue board, that makes things better. I did cut Moonlit Hill. I just didn't get a ton of value from it, in my opinion. You discard a basic Psychic Energy card from your hand, heal 30 damage into your Pokemon. The healing usually wasn't what was necessary. And usually you want the energies in hand to accelerate with Xatu. You don't want to get them in the discard for the most part, so it didn't have a lot of value there. Do have another Stadium instead, so we'll get to that shortly. And then I cut the Capturing Aroma. It's just not a card I like. I just, it's a coin flip in the terms where you get a basic or an evolution, which can have value, but you hit the the coin flip doesn't go your way. You just don't set up. So that's partly also why I increased with the Nest Ball and the Buddy-Buddy Poffin count, just to help get our Pokemon into play that we need to. Okay, then added a few different cards here. Added an A-Spec because, they're good and you want one basically in every deck, I would think. And went with Prime Catcher. Hero's Cape was an option that gives you more HP. Master Ball just to search out any one Pokemon also had value in this deck. I considered that, but Prime Catcher, I like it because it does what Guzma did in the days of old. If you remember that, it's like a boss, but you switch yourself as well. You switch your opponent's bench with the active, then you switch your active with one of your bench. I believe your opponent has to have something on the bench to use it. You don't necessarily have to have a bench Pokemon though, but you can't use it just to switch yourself if your opponent doesn't have it. If your opponent only has an active Pokemon, you can't use it to switch your Pokemon, so just be aware of that. But because Xatu accelerates to the bench, I've talked about this before, it gives us another way to switch, and there's not a lot of switching in the deck. We play one switch card, and we play I think one Penny, which are good cards anyway, which are good cards as well, but this gives us another switching option. I like it for that as well. Included now one copy of Bravery Charm. Could have considered more, a second copy, or considered Hero's Cape, but your basic Pokemon gets plus 50 HP, so just use it at the right time when it's going to be meaningful. Gives 50 plus HP to a basic Pokemon, so your Mewtwo EX, your Mew EX, or also don't forget it can really help out on the Mimikyu too. If your Mimikyu survives an extra turn, that can be a big deal in these games as well. Dropped in one copy of Counter Catcher, just really good, right? If you're behind in prizes, and a lot of these games you will get behind in prizes, you gust up one of your opponent's Pokemon from the bench to the active. And then the stadium I added is Town Store, just because these tools are important. In the deck, we have Bravery Charm, we have the Rescue Board. I know I cut it to one, but it's still important. And then we have EXP Share as well to keep those energies in play. So Town Store just lets us get a tool, which we want to get these tools in play, especially getting EXP Share early to keep building the energy count in play is huge. And also, Town Store then, just by using it, even if you don't need the tool that turn, it thins your deck just so you're hitting better cards with your Xatu. And everything else in the deck I've kept the way it is. So not huge changes, but I have found that these changes have made the deck function a lot better. So let's take a look at the deck in the ladder and see it in action. All right, choose heads and hopefully get to go first. Last game didn't go well. It was up against a Gengar deck, and I flipped a bunch of tails for waking up from sleep, and that put me too far behind early to really be effective. That's what I'll say. Could I have done a few things differently? Yes, I could have made some different decisions. I'm not sure that was really the issue. All right, well, this is a bad start here. So I guess it's not terrible. I actually could. Yeah, it's not terrible. Okay, Jirachi, don't need to worry about that. So glad to have a useless Pokemon in play. So it looks like it's a Charizard deck, right? See the Charizard sleeves. See Rotom V. So, yeah. So we'll see what happens. It's not an easy matchup at all, but that's a nice start for them. And they'll end up with a Rotom V's ability. I have the Iono, so although they have 6 cards now, they'll have 6 cards when they start the next turn. Natu is good. I'm going to wait. Do I want to grab energy now? I could grab energy and attach, but it probably doesn't help me. So I'll just do this. I need to set up. That's what needs to happen this turn. And yeah, setting. Okay, well, that's pretty nice there for sure. So Mimikyu's good in this matchup as well. Do I want to drop down a Mimikyu now, actually, and just get that threat going? This could be a game to make them work through some Mimikyu. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna drop an energy onto the Mimikyu. I'm going to play the slow game. I'm going to do the slow start to this game. Attach that there because I want that going and end turn. So I can get a Xatu in play next turn, and I can accelerate an energy to my Mimikyu, and I'll draw 2 cards. Or I get fresh 6 cards from my Iono. So that's actually probably better. It was an okay set of cards, but this is a better set of cards for sure. So making them work through Mimikyus. They probably play Radiant Charizard. Let's take a look at what they got going on so far. Yeah, not bad. So So I want to get rid of what do I get? I might want to boss up that guy, right? If I get what I need, yes, I'll keep the town store. I mean, Tulip's nice as well. I get it, but Xatu, I'll get my energy onto the Mimikyu, and then we'll see what happens here. See what I hit, right? Obviously, if I had attached to the active last turn, I could have bossed for game, potentially. I mean, not for game, but okay, so let's tell you what. I'm going to toss down the Mew EX here because I can... actually, you know what? I can take him out. So as long as I have my tool here, and I do. So I'm going to... I'm going to boss, and then I'm going to... I'll take out the guy with the energy because they're working on him. I'm going to draw here because if I hit my switch card, or so I will. Okay, Iono's fine. It's good for next turn. So discard that energy, which I don't love that, but I take a knockout here, and my Mimikyu should be safe for another turn, I believe. So just getting one of these, these Charizard EXs are really tough to work through. So just that's one Charizard EX out of the way potentially. Look, they can recover him, and it's not it's not done for good. It's not like there's a Charizard EX eliminated for permanently, but I don't think they can. Well, I don't think they can take out my Mimikyu this turn. Unless they have, look, they could rare candy a Charizard and power up some other Pokemon. That's possible, right? But I don't know that Pokemon exists in their deck. So pleased about taking that knockout. Yeah, so see what happens. What I play for boss? Is it 2 boss in the deck? I think I kept, 2 boss. I didn't modify that. So Mimikyu, I think, so they used Forest Seal Stone. They didn't use Rotom V's power, so they're going to get a Pidgeot EX into play this turn. Make it at the active, I assume, so they have free retreat. There's no reason not to, even if they wanted to. I mean, unless they want a Pidgey knocked out. And actually, they could even just retreat into the Pidgey if that's what they felt they had to do. But, so, okay. Yeah, so that's a good play there, for sure. See what I can do. They need to get a Charmander down, I would think, because they want to be able to power him up. And although, you know what I can do? He does 70, and now they may play Lost Vacuum and Lost. So this is a deck where they probably play a copy of Lost Vacuum, but Bravery Charm on Mimikyu keeps him from being one shot, right? So they're maybe, I don't know if they grabbed an energy, which lets them. I don't know if they're going to leave in the active. So giving me a prize, which is fine. I'll have to think if I want to take the prize or not, right? Eventually I need to take prizes, so getting him, it's probably better. The thing is, it helps, it ramps up. Right now they're doing, okay, so what are they going to, okay, I mean, that's fine. I can attach active and I can retreat again, so that's not terrible. We'll see what happens. I do want a Bravery Charm onto the Mimikyu. Like I said, they probably have if they play Lost Vacuum in deck, they have access to it. And he's just going to go away. But let me grab the Bravery Charm because I want to get that before. So I could attach active and retreat. I do have Prime Catcher. Prime Catcher would be super nice then because I'd like to keep that energy into play as well, right? Let's think. I will accelerate to my Mew EX. I think I want to... How do I work this now? I think I want to get... Do I drop down another... I think I'll drop down... Let's see. Have I discarded a Mew EX? I have not. So let me just take a peek in here. And I have another Mewtwo EX in deck, so I think I want to discard him. I want to grab some energies. I would like to get Prime Catcher. Or even Boss. It makes me happy as well. So let me get some energies into play. Oh, I can't do that, can I? So that was a bit of a mistake. Okay, so attach here. My tool. Anyway, increase the odds of Prime Catcher with that. By playing Earthen Vessel. See what happens here. So, got Prime Catcher. So, I think I want to start doing damage there. Start smacking away at him. Mimikyu. And that worked out all right. And I'll just end here. So because, unless they get rid of my tool, they do not one-shot me. But then I finish him off very easily, right? At least I should. Actually, I'm guaranteed to finish him off if I want to. I have Penny. This could change the way I work this. If they... Let me think. If they knock me out, I have Mimikyu. I don't have energy on Mimikyu. I could Penny this Mewtwo EX into hand, get that energy, send up the Mew EX, accelerate one to Mimikyu. I'll see what they do here, though. And, of course, they have Boss, so they don't need to... 2, 3, 4. They can win without taking out either Mimikyu. But that's actually pretty nice as well. So what do I want to drop out of play here? Do I want to drop the... I'll drop him. I'm not sure about that one. It was either the Mew EX or the Natu. I was very torn about that one. But what that did is that could be game because now they need to get through at least one Mimikyu. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now they have to get through both Mimikyus, and I don't know if they can do that. They might not do that, and they conceded, right? Playing that collapse game, I think, was a mistake for them, right? I wanted to keep the Mewtwo EX because he did the big damage. Mew EX, is a nice engine. The Xatu's really nice too. So that's why I was torn. I obviously got rid of the Natu. It had the XP share, but you know. Anyway, I think that Collapse Stadium ended up being a mistake, and was able to kind of work through that game. Showed them the Mimikyu early, just to which modified their lines of play. That was the type of game where, do you show them the Mimikyu early, or do you hide it for later? I showed it early, which then kind of made them take a slightly less aggressive approach, which I think was helpful. It's because it let me set up my other pieces better. All right, let's see how this game goes. Got a W the last game because of Mimikyu, really. Mimikyu, I mean, it was up against the Charizard EX deck, and the Mimikyu causes trouble in that matchup for them, right? And the deck, look, I can get to big damage. The Mewtwo EX is also the Mew EX is also potentially important, because that can one-shot a Charizard EX, but they have to take it. If they get down to one prize card left, I can one-shot a Mew EX, and if I have two prizes left, boom, I jump them. And that, you know, that's just nice having that option in the bag as well, with the way this deck works. But getting to go first, that's good. Hopefully I set up. Yeah, I'm liking it. How do I want to work this? I will drop Mewtwo EX in the active. I would have preferred a Mew. Okay, so up against another Charizard deck. Let's see what happens here. Do I want to throw out the Mimikyu yet? I want to be careful, because just trying to think how I work this game here. I'm going to hold off. I'm trying to think this through, because I want them to have to work through two Mimikyus. I really do. And I guess I'll just attach, and then I will pass. And I think that's what I'll do. Hold off on the Mimikyu. You know, that's obviously a change. So if they know the starter deck, I think I'm playing the starter deck, they don't know the Mimikyu's here. The last game I showed the Mimikyu early to slow them down. This time, I think I don't need to show them this early, right? It's maybe in a turn or two I show it. I wouldn't mind getting that Mew EX out of play. If I had started a Natu, I think I would have gotten, I think I would have played the game differently in that case. Arven's a nice play for them, so we'll see what they grab. Maybe, I don't know if it'll be a TM Evolution, Buddy-Buddy Poffin, if they have energy. All right, so Nest Ball. Okay, so they're gonna, but they have Rotom down, yeah. So they don't wanna. They probably don't play TM Evolution, and obviously with Rotom V, you don't want to use that because it's the feeding there. Just enjoying that little hollow pattern on the card. I keep spending a lot of time on the visuals, although, they still have these jagged lines on the edge of the cards because I turned off the anti-aliasing. Lines that aren't orthogonal, either perfectly horizontal or perfectly vertical, are jagged. It wasn't before they kind of turned things back. I think, just to help with some computers that didn't have anti-aliasing, but, I will say that's a technology that's been around for a long, long time. So let me get rid of Nest Ball here. Let's think. If 180, trying to think the numbers. Do I have 2 Mimikyus? I think I want to take a knockout this turn. I'm not. I think I kind of do. So if I do that, All right, so I'm going to Cryptomaniac Ciphering. I don't think I want to use Ultra Ball, though. I think I like these cards I have. So let's see, I have Buddy-Buddy Poffin, so I want to get... But if they mess with my hand, I want a Xatu, and I want an energy. That's what I want, right? If they disrupt my hand for next turn, that's kind of the thought there, right? So I will just do this, and I take the knockout because I do 70. So just go up in prizes. Now, obviously, they have Counter Catcher. Although honestly, I would, I'd love to get this Mewtwo EX out of play. That's what I want to do, right? They're doing 180. They're doing 200 this turn. If they have the tool, the ace spec, it does 50 more to an EX. So if I remember correctly, so that just one-shots me anyway. Okay. So taking out these Pokemon that can take out my Mimikyus, right? That's really what I'm trying to do here. So we'll see what happens. So they have the barrel engine in the deck. And obviously, the barrel can one-shot me. It's a coin toss, right? It is a coin toss, which isn't great from their perspective. But so I think they come up short. And I think I just kind of bang into them. So the good news is they didn't get Pidgeot into play. So, they don't have access to any one card this turn nor future turns until, eventually they'll get that Pidgeot into play, I have to assume. But I can just start. I would love to get hit into Penny here. So what do they have? So they play Iono. That makes a lot of sense. If they have the tool now, they have guaranteed access to it. So I got my energy. All right, this is not bad. The problem is I don't have access to Mimikyu now, right? Because I wanted Xatu and I wanted energy. We'll see what happens. See what my opponent's doing here. Probably want to work on evolving to Pidgeot EX. I'll probably grab a Pidgeot EX and then they can grab the rare candy and get him into play. Unless, maybe they have other cards in hand that gives them something else. But yeah, that was kind of the most basic, most obvious play. And, obvious is not a bad thing, right? It's obvious because it's good. So, yeah. So a good start for them. They're grabbing the rare candy, I assume. And then they have access to any one card. So they still could one-shot me. Look, the big thing to being one-shot is it doesn't... if they're good, I want them not to knock out the Mewtwo EX, right? The one-shot versus two-shotting is not the big deal. The point is, can I get him out of play before he's taken before they get those two prizes? Because those two... if I can... because I want to force them to hit through two Mimikyus. They can get through two Mimikyus. That's the one issue, but they can do that. There's no doubt. So through the stage 1s, stage 2s, the stage 1s in particular. What are these? This guy does 30, but then I one-shot him. He does 30 also. So they missed the knockout. Very good for me. So I will make that play. Just going to do all the pieces I can here. I'm going to drop down a Mimikyu because my one Mimikyu's prized. That's not good. Okay, well, that may cost me game. Anyway, we'll see what happens here. So, grab a tool of some sort. I'll get Bravery Charm on him because I don't want him getting one shot. I'm going to keep the Bravery Charm because I don't think they can... I'm going to Bravery Charm. Bravery Charm here. I'd love to get this Mewtwo EX out of play. That's my dream. That part's not happening. That's pretty good, though. So I'll ditch you. And the rod. I like the rod, but I can go. The rod actually could be really huge this game because my other... Now I can't recover this Mimikyu. So I'm going to have to draw this Mimikyu out of the prizes, or I've got basically nothing. But I can attack this turn, which is really nice. So energy on the Mimikyu. With the, I mean, I get the Mimikyu in the active, right? I have a switch card. I mean, what's he do? He does 130 right now. So if I hit Prime Catcher, I'll be sad about this, but it's a, you know, I just got to keep working on setting up. If I hit Prime Catcher, I may actually... That part, that's interesting. How do I want to work that? I could Prime Catcher and take a prize, but I don't think I want to do that. Do they have the knockout this turn? I don't know. Right, that's what I don't know. So I will just make this little play here. You know, taking out one Charmander EX, one Charizard EX would be very satisfying. So do they have the stage? If they have, they need a stage 1 and they need a Lost Vacuum to one-shot me now. I don't, right? None of the stage 1s one-shot me. In theory, they could use a Radiant Charizard, and they could, if they have enough energies in deck, they could evolve 2 more Charizard EXs, put all the energy on to him. They need 5 energies, right, at this point. Or no, they just need 4 energy. They've taken 1 prize, so... Okay. So that's a big play. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got to... it's not. I'm gonna have to hit the Mimikyu for my prizes now. Probably if they take out the Mimikyu here, that's really horrible. So getting this other, yeah, Barrel into play is smart for them as well, because I think they should have evolved the other Charmander though, because he has 2 energies and they could have attacked with him for 90. It does 70, 20 to itself. Okay. I mean, that's okay, though. I'm in a lot of trouble now, though. A lot of trouble. So I will send up the Xatu. He has free retreat. I do have Prime Catcher. I don't one-shot the Charmander, which is not a good feeling. 1, 2, 3. If I get, I mean, I just don't have the numbers here. The fact that the one Mimikyu's prized isn't good. I think I just want to work on flooding the board with energies, and then I can take a one-shot later in the game. I think that's probably my best bet here. I'll drop down this EXP share. So I think I want to hit into the Charmeleon. Is that what I want to do? I mean, yeah. They might not have 2 Charmeleons, right? So that's the thought. I start smacking on the Charmeleon. I have free retreat here. I want to keep the free retreat as well. Do I want to Iono here? I'll Iono. Just make their life maybe more difficult too. I'm just trying to think. The Mew EX, I don't want him next turn yet, so I was hoping to get like a boss. But this is okay. So just sprinkle some damage. If they have energy and lost vacuum, they knock me out, and then I probably just scoop at that point, because that's probably just game over. So I can move. If I get knocked out, I move these 2 energies. I'll have 4 in play, 5. So I lost vacuum. That's bad. Bad for me. Good for them. I mean, that ruins my day, because now they don't need to use Pidgeot for the lost vacuum. So, okay. I mean, I don't have access to my other. I'm surprised that they didn't attach to the Charmeleon, honestly, because he's the one that has to attack this turn. I assume that's, well, he does knock himself out if he attacks, so maybe they don't want to attack with him. So we'll see what happens. The good thing is, if they attack with him, he knocks himself out. I'm knocked out as well. So they're planning on knocking me out this turn, I assume. I don't play another copy in my deck, but they don't know that of Bravery Charm. So they should take. You want to use the tool, the Lost Vacuum. Sorry, I might have said Tool Scrap, but you want to use the Lost Vacuum the turn in this case, the turn you're gonna take the knockout, because you don't want to make that play and then give me my next turn, not do the knockout, and give me the opportunity to play down another copy of the tool the following turn, which they did. And that, wow. Okay, well, that's amazing for me. Just amazing. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to. What do I want? Do I just want 2 more energies? Do I just want to flood? I think I just want to flood the board with energies at this point. That's all I'm going to do. Just flood the board with energies. And then it gives me just great stuff next turn. Great stuff. I don't want to bench that Mimikyu. I mean my EX yet. I don't think, because that's just too scary for me. But let me. What's the energy situation here? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I 9, and then but I don't want to put any more energies around at all after this. I'm just trying to think through. All right, that boss, I like that boss a lot as well. That's a very pretty looking card there. So I'll just do this. That's pretty good. So I take the knockout. So they made the play that I felt like they couldn't make. I don't know why they attached their energy to the bench, to the Bidoof on the bench, I gotta say, right? They got rid of my... Look, it doesn't hurt them, the fact that I didn't get rid of the tool, because I don't have another copy, but... you know, what are they gonna do here? Hopefully they don't have another copy of... All right, I mean, that's not terrible. I have Boss, so I think I want to start smacking at the Charmander. Hopefully the Charmander stays. You know, we'll see what happens here. Obviously they have, I mean, Bibarel will one-shot me on a coin flip, and you know, if I go down to Bibarel because of that, you know, I think the coin flip, if the coin flip is what determines the game, that might be my best scenario. I kind of have to not worry about that. I want to take a, you know, hopefully that Charmander stays, and he is going to stay, and that's amazing. That's amazing, and they really picked the wrong one to knock out too. I mean, because now I keep a lot of energies in play here, which is exactly what I want to do, and I take out this Charmander, and maybe this one Mimikyu is going to be enough to get me through this game. I don't know. I mean, I don't know, but I don't want to attach energy. I just want to kind of sit on things at this point. So I take out the Charmander. The Bibarel now, it's going to take 2 turns to power up. So I think I want to give a poke to the Bibarel. Yeah, I actually could. You know, I do have the Xatus to attack with as well. So we'll see what happens. So Pidgey, I mean, I don't think they want to attack with Pidgey. I really don't. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm just trying to think through the numbers. So 9 on him. 9 times 3, 270, 280, right? So he does. I'm sorry. So so I can one-shot that Charizard. I can finish off the Charizard EX. It's not a one-shot, but I need. Let's think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 2 more energies around, so I need to get. I mean, I need to pull that. That has to be a one-turn thing. Like I get him into play and boom, take the game. If I get to 280, I one-shot any of their 2 prizers. So, okay. I mean, now. All right, I will take this. So how do I want to work this? Do I want to... I think I want to smack into the barrel because he's, right now, he's the guy that could lose me the game, I'm thinking, right? And I do have Tulip to get more energy back as well. I forgot about that. So I want to... I just smack into the barrel. Do I have any more? I think I've had a boss, right? Yeah, I'm at a boss. So just going to smack into him. Because that way, look, they still have the barrel on the coin toss for game right now. I think is their best scenario. I don't. They probably just play the. Oh, they didn't recover the Charmeleon, did they? Okay, they played Rod. What did they get with the Rod? I mean, Charmeleon was the play, I would have thought. So I can't gust them up again, but that's okay. Look, they're just going to knock me out. And do I take game before I deck out? I have Iono, so that's okay. So yes, I will not deck out. I have Iono. So they're going to take the prize, and then they got to start powering something else up to take out the Mimikyu, right? So the stage 1 is what they need. The Charmeleon, right? They didn't recover that with their 1 Rod. Do they have another Rod? Maybe. Maybe they have. Maybe they play 2 in deck, so they have 1 already. Huge knockout there. So now time will tell. Can I make this work? I could have saved the boss. Maybe I should have and just kind of smacked away with Mimikyu some. Obviously, they don't... Wait, do I have... I do have Counter Catcher in deck, right? So let me... Did I not put Counter Catcher? Yeah, I did put Counter Catcher in. So I'm going to... Let me take a peek at my deck. I don't bench anything, because that would be terrible. Terrible, terrible. So I have Counter Catcher. I have a bunch of Pokemon. So, okay. So... So let me just increase my odds some. I got to think through how much do I want to thin this deck, right? I get 3 cards. I kind of need to get... I kind of need this Counter Catcher though, right? So I'm going to just toss all these guys away. Just increasing the odds of Counter Catcher. And if I hit Counter Catcher... That could be game. So we'll see what happens. If I got counter, oh, that's lovely. So knockout there. And I still need 2 prizes though. So can I get my 2 prizes before I deck out? That's the other issue here, right? I'm out. I played my 1 Iono, right? Oh no, do I have more Ionos in deck? I don't even know. No, I'm out of Ionos. Okay, so I play 3. They're all played. So, but you know, I think they were playing for the knockout. there. So what do they have here? So they've got one. They're out of Charmanders. All the Charmanders are in the discard pile, so we'll see what they do here. So they're playing the slow game because they're just going to let the Rotom V get hit twice. I have to 3-shot him. I have to 4-shot 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I will get there in time. It's going to be close. It's going to be close, but so what are they tossing down? Okay, tossing him down. But that's another turn, right? That's another. So they're going to go for the coin toss and the barrel probably. That's their play. Look, if they have Rod, they should have. If they had anything to get him access to the Charmander and the Charmeleon, if they had Rod, they should not have put him on the bench, right? They can give up a single prize Pokemon though, and I don't win the game. So they can barrel. And then they can send up, potentially, if they have the energies. Okay. Wait, what did they do? Okay. That's a little weird. My top card of my deck was glowing, too. Or had a, little thing there. So that's kind of weird. So, smack away there. Oh, they used Barrel, right, to draw those cards. That's what happened, right? I saw also they grabbed some cards. I was like, what happened? Yeah, Industrial Synthesizers drew 3. Okay. And if they, if they digging through now, they will deck out first. They may have a Iono, but that helps me, keeps me from decking out. Or they could play Judge, right? Or they could play that other supporter, which something Parasol, right? That you draw 4 into your hand. You shuffle and draw 4. So they just give themselves the retreat there. They need the energy on the barrel, though. I mean, honestly, yes, he can't be knocked out. I mean, if they let him be knocked out, they lose the game, but that's not this turn, right? They need to do it. They need to retreat this turn, obviously. They need to attach energy someplace. I would have thought they wanted to attach to the barrel. Because now they need to manually attach. Are they going to try a barrel this turn? They are. So this could be game here. They get heads. I'm hoping tails, right? Tails is what I need to see. Oh yeah, that's huge. Look, I get it. I get that play. What I don't get is I've got to knock him out. I can't let him do that again. So that's where that boss hitting into him made it 50-50 there. If I didn't hit him till once, it would have been, 70? They would have been 50-50 and then 25%. So then, so they would have had 75% chance because they would have attacked twice, right, with 2 coin flips. He can't stay, so they must have a rare candy, I guess, in a stage 2. Because otherwise I just knock him out, right? Obviously, they win it all on the coin toss, and I get that. So if this game holds up, Mimikyu has been the star. Opponent confused me a little bit along the way. They had the opportunity. They knew I had Mimikyu. My other Mimikyu's still prized, right? At this point, there's no reason to play it because I could start attaching energy, but it doesn't make any sense to do that. My last prize, I believe, is my other Mimikyu. So they're just going. So they're dragging it out now. They should have rotted back before, right? That's the thing. So, yeah. So I just poke away. I think I dropped the tool. Do I drop my stadium? No. Maybe. I assume they don't have Rod, or they would have used it, right? If they have Rod, then the artisan helps them, right? But they should have made that happen before now. They shouldn't have used, like I said, I think they misused the Rod earlier, and then if they have the other Rod, they shouldn't have benched that other Bidoof, right? That was a mistake too. They should have left the bench space open. They're making me do a lot of hits, trying to deck me out. Can they deck me out? I don't know what's in their deck. you know, they can't take me out with Bidoof, does 30, and I knock him out the following turn. So another Barrel will, you know, I would have thought that they were going to, I thought they were going to go for the second Barrel play, set up another Barrel, but they haven't done that either. I don't know what they're 5, 6, 7. That might be it for energies. The Counter Catcher was glowing again, I saw there, so I just poke at him. And you know, can they deck me out? I guess that's their plan now, is to deck me out. The thing is, they have less cards in deck right now, so I do have Tulip. Oh, well, that's good as well, because I can fill up my hand with Tulip as well. So I'll play Tulip next turn. I could have used it. You know, Tulip is bad if it's my last card I draw, right? I might as well fill up my hand, because right now Iono, in trying to fill their bench with tanky Pokemon, is the deck out scenario. Let's see, what's their Iono count? Do they have? They might be out of Iono. They might have one more. So I will play Tulip here, because they're just trying to deck me out. I don't think that's going to happen. One more attack there, one more attack there, a bunch of more attacks on the Charizard EX. So I will play my Tulip. 1, 2. I'm just going to grab energy, because I don't want these Pokemon at all, because they're no good. They're no good. That any of these Pokemon just lose me the game, probably. Although they might have Gusting at this point, right? They might not. I don't really know what they're at. 2 Boss. Well, Counter Catcher's no good to them, or to me, because we're both at 1 prize left. So, I mean, I'm pretty certain I'm going to win the game. I played the Tulip because get a bigger hand size in case they keep Ionoing. They could, you know, Iono, and they could, if they have, you know, if they scoop up, well, they could scoop up the Rotom V and replay him, because that's 2 more hits there. There's they don't have stage 1s on any of these guys, right? So just double checking. So so they're just passing at this point, and I just keep attacking. And not sure, did they actually do anything last turn? Yeah, so I guess they ended. They didn't time out. They passed. Do they have a way to win? I don't think so. But, you know, until it's done, I don't know. I think they're being stubborn here, and that's fine. Just kind of ride this out. So look, I'll just so I like this upgrade to the deck, right? Both these games have been against Charizard decks. The Mimikyu is very good. The one game I chose to show the Mimikyu earlier. This game I chose to hold back on the Mimikyu. I think my opponent had the opportunity to win this game. I will say I think they misused the Rod. Now, if I was unlucky though in that my other Mimikyu was prized, so and my opponent might not be playing anymore at this point. So I do like this build a lot. Yeah, I'm quite happy with it. I think of the starter decks that I've looked at so far, this is the biggest improvement by upgrading the deck. The deck works better for sure. I didn't think the Arceus V-Star is great getting 2 cards once over the course of the game, but it just doesn't have a ton of synergy, I don't think, with its deck. You just got to rely on the Xatu's getting that set up, right? If that happens, we're okay. Increasing the Buddy-Buddy Poffin count certainly made sense. More energy, I like that as well. Yeah, the changes I'm pretty pleased with. So just let me know in the comments below how you feel about this. All right, so my opponent's just dragging this out. They're taking their time too, right? Unfortunately, I think they're kind of slow playing now, right? If this was a tournament, I would call over the referee saying, hey, they're just delaying. They're just burning clock right now, right? Because, look, switching is okay. They can try to deck me out. That's legit. But they're taking a lot of time too, right? They waited a long time before they switched, and that's the problem, right? They're going to lose, and they're salty about it, you know. I would say, and they're not happy, and you know, I beat them, and honestly, and I do think they misplayed some too. So it's not like Mimikyu. It's not like their deck can't get through a Mimikyu. Right, the tool helps. Oh, that's right, and they also grabbed the tool at the wrong time as well. So that was a big miss as well. So I'll just poke at them. You know, I could drop down the Mewtwo EX and penny it back into my hand and just be obnoxious, but no reason for that. So what do I need? 70. So it's what, 70, 40, 140. Yeah, so 3 hits on this guy, and then they can and that's it. At this, then I knock out. Then after 2 more hits, I one-shot everything that's in play. You know, they're below 5 minutes. It turns yellow. Their timer. Yeah, unfortunately, they're just wasting my time. So anyway, I'm gonna keep going. I'm pretty, you know, I think the deck worked. I think I'm gonna upload this. Yeah, just let you know. Let me know in the comments below any other changes as I look through this list here. If they get down, I mean, I think, are they just burning time? They're just burning clock here, right? Yeah, because they don't have a Charmander in play or anything like that. So I guess I should bump their stadium just in case, right? Just in case they have Rod. I'm pretty sure they don't, but I should. They're out. They may be. I don't know what they have for Pokemon Draw anymore. So yeah, I mean, it's not good, right? They are just dragging this out. You know, they might actually time themselves out. If they can, they're going to time themselves out. I don't think they can. Well, they haven't used their Pidgeot EX yet, right? Which means they're going to do that probably and just wait till that times out. And yeah, you know, I would like to be a report function. Although I don't think PTGO had a report function. I don't think it actually did anything, right? But this player, you know, you know, at this point, since they're waiting and then making an action last minute, you know, they're clearly just trying to drag this out. Anyway, so unfortunate here. So yeah, I don't know. I don't have much else to say, so we'll just kind of listen to this music and wind down this game. So I will attack and you know, I'm going to bump their stadium just in case, it shouldn't matter. I mean, I guess that there's a realm in which, no, because they have Pidgeot EX, so I'm pretty certain their stadium couldn't have done anything for them, right? I mean, they could. It slows them down a turn is what it does. If they played a Rod, and then might have to wait for they have to grab a Rod with Pidgeot EX, then they might have to wait to the following turn to get the Charmander down. With the stadium in play, they could have got the Charmander down immediately. Of course, they should have done it earlier, right? I'm pretty certain they would have if they could. So what I need 2 more attacks. So you know, anyway, what can I do? There's not much. There's nothing I could do. I could like make emotes at them. They took a little less time that turn. That I appreciate that. So we'll see. Maybe they have the big comeback play in here, but I think, you know, see what they do here. They're gonna, you know, they could cause themselves to deck out instead. So yeah, not much to say. So anyway, so the deck has worked. Obviously, Mimikyu just shut them down. And yeah, I think a deck like this, you drop into Mimikyu, especially you have the Psychic Energies, and then when you can power up a Mimikyu in 1 turn, like this deck can with the Xatus, it's very good, right? Not only can you get it going, can you toss into play when you want, but you can actually attack that very turn, and you can then take out, you know, like the basic Charmander, which of course stops your opponent from getting things developed. So, and if you have, obviously, it can be a net. Once they see the Mimikyu, they know to play to work around it. But you also have the surprise factor. You can toss a Mimikyu to play in 1 turn and take out potentially their only Pokemon that can deal with it. Gives you options there. So as soon as this game is done, I will say goodbye and end this video. So we'll see. We'll see if my opponent times out or not. So, you know, I'm kind of, yeah. So down to 30 seconds. And are they going to hit concede? We'll see we'll see how my opponent wants to end this game, right? Or are they going to let the timer run down to 0? So now the timer is like flickering as well, maybe below 30 seconds that started. I don't know. They probably are going to let the timer run down to 0 now. I suspect. I think it might give them 30 seconds per action, and they just use the stadium, and they're going to lose on time. And, you know, and they conceded. So, which not surprising, right? Just that show of sportsmanship, just draining the clock down to 1 second left after a whole lot of useless turns. And then the concession, because you just don't want to let your opponent ever get an actual win, right? So, anyway, there we go. The deck works, and, you know, the culture of these online games can be a bit toxic, and kind of got a little dose of that there. Anyway, have some fun playing some Pokemon, and please be a good sport about things. You know, hey, your opponent has a counter deck. You know, learn to play around it, beat it, or just concede. You know, it's all part of the game. Different types of decks, different things, and you know, not going to win every game. It's okay. Let's just all try to have some fun playing some Pokemon. Take care.